Well, once again, welcome. Welcome everyone here. My name is Eileen, and I'm from the NUS School of Computing, which we love to call it SOC. So it's really wonderful to have young students, parents, and guests joining us today. Before we start, perhaps let me first share what we have lined up for today's session. So we will begin with a sharing by Associate Prof. Suranga Nanayakara, our Vice Dean of Communications. He will introduce the NUS School of Computing, our program offerings, and exciting opportunities beyond the classroom here within NUS. So after that, two of our current students will also join us to share about their journey at SOC. So they'll talk about their experiences and what new or undecided students can look forward to experience here at NUS. We will then move into a live Q&A segment where our profs, our student and admissions team will be answering some of your questions live. And finally, we will wrap up with some information on what you can continue to explore after today's virtual talk. Maybe without further ado, please join me in welcoming Associate Professor Suranga Nangayakara. Prof. Suranga, over to you, please.
Thank you, Lynn. Good afternoon to all of you. Let me first do a quick intro of myself. I say I am a product of NUS. I did my bachelor's degree, my PhD at NUS. Then I went to MIT, spent some time there, became a faculty in a couple of places, and finally I came back home and now I am the Vice Dean for Communications at School of Computing. So before I go on to share some of our programs, I want to establish this. I want to establish that, we are one of the top 10 universities in the world. I know that I've been to MIT, Stanford, all those places. We are on par with that. We are a brand that everyone knows, and we are the only university in this part of the world that's in the top 10. In fact, our students are so good that to a point, we have 6 public universities in Singapore, right? All the presidents in those universities are our alumni. So that's the caliber of our NUS students. And within that School of Computing, we are also in a very good place. We are placed number 4 as per the QS ranking as a computing school. And that's not a coincidence. This is because we have such a rich history. We have a 50 years of excellence. We have so many diverse programs. We have some of the top world-class faculty. We have a vibrant student community. Our graduates are highly employable, so on and so forth. That's why we hold that ranking. At School of Computing, our goal is to make sure that we provide the best education experience and the opportunities for you to achieve your full potential. So on that note, I would like to take a bit of time to describe some of the programs we have and a bit of the life in general at School of Computing. So we have 2 departments in School of Computing, the Department of Computer Science, which we call CS, and the Department of Information Systems and Analytics, which we call DISA. There are 6 degrees, 3 from CS, 3 from DISA: AI, Business Analytics, Business AI Systems, Computer Engineering, Computer Science, and Information Security. Let me go through them one by one. Okay, let me start with AI. Without a doubt, we all know AI breakthroughs in the recent past has been one of the biggest innovation that we are living with, and it has influenced pretty much everything we do. And it's in some sense very disruptive. What we want to do is we want to nurture people who are AI native and who are capable of solving real world problems using AI tools and machine learning techniques. So what will you study in this program? You will study foundational models and how to evaluate and design AI systems, as well as AI governance and responsibility. Basically, you start the common computer science program, and then from there you can choose to opt into this degree. And once you do that, you will take very specific courses. AI generate code faster than before, right? But computing is not just about writing code, it's about designing, validating, integrating, and sustaining complex systems. which will become more important in the AI era. And this degree will train you for that. So that's the first degree. Second degree from our DISA, which is business analytics. So for many organizations, if you say cash flow is the king, the information flow is the queen. This degree is about how we make sure that we use the data and organization structure to make better decisions, make better product for the organization. So essentially, imagine you are a company, the information is very important, right? Including information about your competitors, what they are doing, what can you do to make it different. And this data needs to be properly analyzed and analyzed in a rigorous way. Because if you do it wrong, you will get the wrong information. Based on this wrong info, you make wrong decisions, and then from there, everything falls apart. So in business analytics, first, you have to understand what is the business problem that you are trying to solve, and then how you collect, model, and analyze this data correctly. Within this, there are a few specializations. You can specialize in things like financial analytics, marketing analytics, or machine learning analytics. In fact, today, I can tell you this, many organizations are crying out for experts who can help them crunch through this data and make evidence-based predictions. So there's lots of opportunities. Okay, third degree. This is also a specialized degree called Business AI Systems. In Business AI Systems, the aim is to solve business problems with AI. Again, it is data and also takes a look at people, the workflows, the customers, vendors, consumers, policymakers, and how AI can come in to make the whole thing more efficient and more productive. So the core of this is understanding how business operate, how organizations operate, how information flow through this organization, and use AI to solve their problems. Within this, the specializations include the AI governance and management, digital product and platform management, as well as fintech, which is, as you know, quite a demanding topic. Okay, so the fourth degree, this is kind of special. This is a joint program between our CS department and the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. So this is called Computer Engineering degree. This solves real-world problems with hardware and software. These two things, the hardware and software, goes hand in hand. The positioning is to move the graduates into forefront of intelligent devices. As you know, now everything is intelligent, right? We have smartphone, smart watch, smart glass, smart TV, smart fridge, smart this, smart that, right? So this trains you to deal with those things. And to do that, you need to know your hardware, bit of electronics, bit of control. So these are very hardware-oriented topics that typical computer science student would not be exposed to. And if you recall the previous two degrees, they are business exposed. They move graduate towards business related domains. This one moved the graduate towards more of electronic related domains. And there's no better or worse. They are just choices, right? And if you ask me, I would say it really depends on your interest, because we need all kinds of people. We need, people who can do systems development as well as we need people who are, can control the finances. And within this, there are several specializations. You can specialize in advanced electronics. You can specialize in things like Industry 4.0, which is hardware software combination, targeting manufacturing and industrial needs. There's also robotics, Internet of Things, as well as even space technology if you're interested in that kind of topics. Okay, so this is an example of an integrated project in this computer engineering program. The image on the left shows our NUS computing students. They are doing a project where they are trying to monitor patients' footprint and do some health diagnosis. These are fun projects as well as they're impactful projects. So you get to do this kind of stuff in the computer engineering degree. Okay, so the next one is the computer science program. This is the sort of the hardcore. This is like the real hardcore computing. In this, we look deeper into technology itself to solve real world problems with software and algorithms. You learn fundamental principles in algorithms and practice of algorithms. For example, here in the slide, the leftmost shows the bubbles, or those who know. And then from there, we build software engineering practices and design considerations and rest of it. Especially on the software engineering front, we are keeping up with the edge and we are moving things towards AI direction as well. And the computer science program is more of a broad-based, uh, and it also allows students to specialize in very niche areas because computing is such a mature field now, last 40, 50 years. Now we have built up a huge amount of knowledge, and it's not possible for one to know everything. So we need you to choose your specialization. And we offer many, many focus areas, as you can see in the slide. And also in the computer science program, we have this special program called the Turing program. This is for students who are really aspire to be researchers. Okay, so then finally, the last of our 6 programs is information security. The threat is real, right? It's getting easier and easier to commit cybercrime, to infiltrate, and to attack infrastructure. So this degree aims to prepare students, professionals in that area, to be able to help organizations, businesses, governments to secure their environment, the computing environment that they're operating. You will start with learning standard traditional computing, and then you move on to learning about how attack can happen, how do we defend, as well as if you did get attacked, how do you analyze what went wrong and how do you fix that, and what are the lessons learned, so on and so forth. In fact, in some sense, the weakest link in a computing infrastructure is often the human, right? If we can, you know, identify the scammers, if our grandma knows that this person is a scammer, they can tackle that. So the weakest link is the human being. Therefore, beside the technical aspects, there's also very much a human aspect of how things should be before we can secure computing structure. So you will learn things like computer security, sorry, how to manage information, as well as digital forensics and legal aspects of security. Students will participate in exercises. For example, uh, your military or home affairs team will run on attack and defenses, right? What if you have a massive denial of service attack? What do you do about it? That sort of scenario. Actually, we have set up for students to experience this. You can imagine the difficulty in any attack, that you need to have a global view of many devices, many things that are happening, and needs to come together in a way that you can visualize and analyze what's going on. And that's the kind of setup we have. Here is a example project from this program where a group of students they're working on hacking drones. So this degree train you how to defend our infrastructure, the digital infrastructure. Okay, so I gave a very brief intro to our core 6 programs because of the limited time we have. For each of these, we actually have a YouTube playlist where our professors explain in greater detail. You can scan this QR code to go there and watch them in your free time. But also don't worry, after this webinar, I believe you will get an email summarizing some of the things we discuss and include all these links. So you can wait for that email as well. Also, in this year, we have a new joint degree offered by geography from Faculty of Arts and Social Science together with School of Computing. Uh, this is called Geospatial Intelligence. This integrates computing skills and geospatial knowledge through an interdisciplinary curriculum. Again, you can scan the QR code to learn more about this. Okay, so that's a bit of the degree specific things. And the life in NUS computing is far more than that. It's far more than classes, tutorials, and assignments. And it's beyond just a technical experience. There's very wide variety of programs. For example, we have so many programs where students can go for exchange, winter programs, study trips, and it's a huge set, confusing amount, which is a good problem to have. And you have the option to choose from these options. Also, we partner with over 300 universities in more than 40 countries on various programs. And one of the very popular program is the NUS Overseas College, which is a program that supports your entrepreneurial journey. You go to many sites. One of the sites is Silicon Valley, where you go and attach yourself with a startup, get the entrepreneurial exposure, do a couple of modules at Stanford, that kind of opportunity. So we have, programs like that to develop your entrepreneurial aspects, your leadership capabilities. This rich set of programs. Also, another key part is the internship. Any university, we cannot really give you exactly what a specific company wants or do, right? Because it's hard to train for that kind of specific requirement. What we prepare you is to learn, and we prepare you with a broad base to be able to adapt to organizations. With these internships, we want you to work with the company. Basically, you go out and experience the company life, and you get to learn what they're doing. And these internships, some of them are credit bearing, means that you can claim credit for it. We have the 6 months version, we have the 3 months version, and this gives you the chance to see what's out there, what's lacking, what you should do to prepare yourself and yourself even better, so that when you graduate, you are ready for the world. And we have huge number of industry partners offering these opportunities both locally as well as overseas. Another very exciting program that we introduced this year is called the Computing Innovators Program, or the C Innovators Program. And the aim of this program is to cultivate future leaders at the intersection of technology, innovation, and societal impact. And this is open to incoming freshmen, current year two students. And once chosen, it provides you a very structured pathway to achieve this. And besides these global programs, enrichments, and internships, we have a rich student life at NUS. And a large part of studying in the university is really about growing yourself as a professional, as a mature individual who can make an impact in the society. So there are these student clubs that would be relevant to you as a computing student, whether it's NUS Grey Hats, NUS Hackers. You can, choose to join these. And in addition to this, in NUS, there are lots of other clubs and societies that cut across the faculties. You're free to join and experience them as well, because it's about engaging the outside world, engaging with your peers, and learning how to build long lasting relationships. And these activities, these societies allows you to make that kind of bonding. And one of the programs at the very beginning is the freshman orientation, which really gives you a chance to build that long lasting relationship right from the get-go. I mean, I can tell you, I'm still in touch with some of my peers who I met 25 years ago during my freshman orientation at NUS, and some of them are now very successful people. So this networking is super important. It starts there. So that's what I'm trying to convey. It's really important that you get most out of your university life, through these experiences and building these networks. There's also a lot of student projects where you get to build your own portfolio to show off to potential employers in future. And some of these projects, as you do, they go beyond classroom, you win prizes, beyond academic work. Our students win international competitions. Uh, our students participate in various programs beyond studies. And if you think that a university, especially NUS computing, is a place where you just write some codes, do your assignment, pass the exam. That's a very sad way of looking at university life, and we are so much more dynamic. There's a lot more here, especially at the NUS computing. The idea we have is, we want to develop graduates who are ready for the AI future, and we are revamping our curriculum. Everything in CS, and SOC is heading towards this AI future readiness. Although, we don't know exactly what that future look like, and what we are trying to do is to position ourselves as very nimble and be able to adjust ourselves in a agile way, so that we give ourselves the best chance to be relevant in that future. Our students, go everywhere, in terms of jobs. They go and join companies, small companies, big tech, locally, globally. You name any company, most of them, we have our graduate students working there. Some of our students do graduate studies. They go to some of the famous overseas universities. And my own final year student who completed NUS last year, just last week got selected to a PhD program at MIT, which has a selection rate of 0.5%. So that's the quality of our students. Our students are eventually that great. And these are a couple of other examples, some success stories. You guys all probably have heard about Carousel. So Carousel was co-founded by one of our computer engineering alumni. Now Carousel, as you all know, it's a unicorn, which is a company worth more than $1 billion. Another computer engineering alumni who went on to build these underwater robots, again, a successful company. There's many, many success stories, too many. We have over the 50 years produced some of the best people who went out there and made a real impact. And my hope is that you could be one of those in the years to come. So as a final thought, here is what I think what makes NUS computing, NUS School of Computing students so special. First, they have very strong technical skills. We made them AI native. Second, they have the domain knowledge, that comes from the internships, specializations, unrestricted electives, all these things that gives them the domain specific knowledge. And third, most importantly, they have the soft skills. Working in the real world outside needs much more than just technical skills. At SOC, you develop your ability to connect, your ability to market yourself, your ability to communicate. This makes you really the real world ready, together with the amazing network that we have. So I hope this gave you a glimpse of how exciting NUS computing could be. And I think nothing beats seeing things in real, right? Talking to us in person, talking to your senior students, sharing their experience, seeing some of the SOC work. So I hope I can see some of you in person next Saturday during our physical open house. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prof. Saranga, for your sharing. So let's now hear from our students on their SOC journey so far. So today we have invited two students. So the first one, we have Hazid, who is a year 2 business analytics student, and Victoria, a year 2 computer science student. So maybe we can start with Victoria. So Victoria, do you want to share a bit more about your journey in SOC?
Yeah, okay. Okay. So before NUS, I was from Raffles Institution, and fencing was my CCA. So the friends I made there are still some of my closest friends today. So that was my foundation before coming into uni. So when I entered NUS, I went for so many orientations, like a lot of orientations. I went for faculty camp, my RC camp, sports camp, and there was like, if there was a camp, I probably signed up for it. But honestly, it was one of the best decisions I made because through orientation, I met a lot of the people I still keep into contact today. And in a big place like SOC, where lectures can have hundreds of people, it's really nice to walk around and randomly see a friendly face. So those early friendships made university less intimidating for me. Regarding my SOC journey, I won't lie, there was a lot of studying. I think there were days that I was debugging until 3 a.m., a lot of group projects and last minute submissions. But also I had a lot of fun. I became an OGL for SOC camps, and that allowed me to meet many different personalities over the 2 years. Every batch is different, some chaotic, some wholesome, and some bold. So last year, I also represented SOC at AFG, the Interfaculty Games, and we won gold in Ultimate Frisbee. So it was a very proud moment for me because, not just because of the medal, but because of the team bonding and training together. So for me, SOC wasn't just academics, it was also a community. So CAP is my RC. So the reason why I chose CAP was because I was drawn to like the wholesome community and the aspect of giving back. So it wasn't really just about staying on campus, but it was being part of something meaningful for me. And honestly, the people there are so pure, welcoming, like genuinely like one of the best people I ever met in uni. So some of my closest friends now were formed here. The kind where you can just knock on someone's door at 1 a.m. and stuff like that. So what I enjoy most about camp is the late night suppers and deep talks. The random conversations about life, the future, your relationships, and existential crises, all over 2 a.m. over prata. So those moments were very underrated to me, but also very precious. I did a lot of sports in uni. I picked up touch rugby and ultimate frisbee, which I never thought I'd try, but ended up representing my college in sports. So I found it quite funny because I got to know Haziq, which is the next presenter, through being sports camp OGL.
Oh,
So uni friendships really come from the most random places. So I also continue fencing for NUS varsity as well. So it kind of came from like a full circle from GC. So sports kept me sane, especially since SOC, everything is like kind of brain heavy. So for me, sports reminded me that my body still exists lah. So of course, uni isn't all fun. Uh, SOC can be tough, and imposter syndrome is real. So sometimes you feel like everyone understands things faster than you during classes and stuff like that. So what helped me the most was my support system, my friends. We all bid for mods together, we support together, and then we celebrate together. So we remind each other about deadlines, discussing tutorials, and there are always CS forums for you to post questions, and their pros would usually be more than willing to help you out. So the key thing I learned is that you shouldn't struggle alone because everyone is confused at some point, and the difference is just who asks for help. So for SOC, uh, I think first I would suggest that you reach out, not just academically, but socially. Like say hi first. If ask someone to grab lunch after the lecture, join that random camp, sign up for something where you don't know anyone. I think uni is one of the few times in your life where everyone is also trying to find new and make friends. So don't wait for people to approach you. Sometimes you have to be the one to make the first move. Second is to be open-minded about people. I think you'll meet a lot of characters in SOC, like super mugger types or like super chill types. People are very, very different from the people you see in your like JC friend group. And sometimes people that you least expect become your closest friends as well. So if I had stuck to people similar to me, I would have missed out on so many meaningful friendships. Yeah. And for the academic wise, I would suggest to understand and don't memorize, especially in computing. If you memorize without understanding, you'll suffer later. Like you won't really understand like future courses since everything is related. Yeah. Finally, my advice for undecided students, I would say you never know until you try. I had no background in computing or any form of computing when I came to SOC, but I'm still okay now. Yeah. So I think if you're unsure about a field, if you're really, really like torn between like a few majors or a few specialties, then I think you should research. So like the internet is real lah. You can always enroll on like an online course, like a free course, and like learn how to code a little bit before coming to uni. And if you really don't like it, then at least you know now like what you don't like and like. Yeah. And then yeah, work always like doesn't equal what you study. Like I would say that your degree opens doors, but a career path can branch out in so many different directions. So I don't think you should panic if you're not 100% certain. You can always pivot later on in life, and I think many people do as well. So you won't be alone. Yeah, so I think overall my uni journey has been about people, people from RI, people from orientation, people from SOC, and people from CAP. So academics are important, but I think what I remember most are the friendships, the late nights and the random laughs that we shared. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria, for your sharing. Oh.
Welcome.
All right, so maybe we can welcome Hazid, right, to talk about your
Yes.
experience.
Okay. Just want to say thank you everyone for coming on a Sunday. I know it's in the it's on the weekend, but yeah, just to hear us talk about NUS computing, and I hope to see most of you also as well next Saturday, for
Saturday.
the physical open house. Me and Victoria will be there, and if you have any questions, you can ask us too. Yeah, so if not, I'm gonna start about my, journey about university. So hello everyone. I'm Hazik. I'm currently a year two business analytics student. When I first entered university, I did not have everything figured out at all. I didn't have any computing background. I just knew that I enjoyed working with data. I loved solving problems, and I also loved the understanding of how businesses makes decisions using numbers especially. But business analytics felt like it was a perfect middle ground. It wasn't purely coding like computer science, but it was still kind of technical enough to build the strong analytical skills. And I would strongly say that over the past 2 years, it's not been easy at all, but I can say that it's been very fulfilling. It's challenging in the best way possible. So here's why I chose NUS computing. So for me, it wasn't just about opportunity and exposure. NUS computing has a very strong reputation, not just locally, but internationally, like what Prof. Suranga has said just now. I knew being here would push me both academically and personally as well. But besides ranking and prestige, what really drew me was the environment that NUS had. The people here are very driven, they are curious, and they are ambitious. And when I say people, is I'm not even talking about the students, I'm talking about the teachers, your teaching assistants, the lecturers, all your friends, and even residential fellows. They are all very driven. And when you're constantly surrounded by these kind of people, you don't really have a choice. You have to grow up and level up yourself as well. And personally, I like that aspect. So before you enter university, of course, you have your orientation. So these are all my orientation that I did before entering NUS computing. And all of these are actually faculty of computing camps. So this one is actually the first one, which is the freshman social camp. For those of you who are coming into NUS Computing, do look out for the NUS Computing Club Instagram page. They will post about the upcoming camps, and even the sign up links are there as well. So if you're interested, and I highly suggest for you to go for them, because this is the place where you can actually make friends in NUS Computing, and I think it's very important that you do so, because the people that you meet here, not only are they from different degrees. But when you go for certain like modules, which are very like interchangeable, these are the same people that you can be taking same group projects with. And especially when you go to like lecture halls, it wouldn't feel like you don't know anyone. You won't have that imposter syndrome. You can actually say hi to a few people who once you're actually in the lecture hall itself. And beyond just making friends, orientation also taught me about something that's very important, which is to step out of your comfort zone. to talk to strangers, to initiate conversations, and also to say yes to experiences, even when they feel like very scary. And looking back, I would definitely like join those camps. And these are one of the best decisions that I've ever made. And because of the orientation that I did before entering university, I actually like became an OGL myself. I became an OGL for sports camp, and that's how I met Victoria. Yeah, so like we are here. And I also became the house head for the freshman orientation week. Yeah, so these were very fun. I made, I would say, like friends that I know that would last beyond university. Yeah. So I would highly suggest for every one of you to partake in the orientation. So moving on, yes, on my residential life journey, I stay in Raffles Hall. That's my room. These are some of my friends, my block friends. Hall is probably one of the most biggest and one of my most transformative parts of my university journey. Living on campus actually gives you a completely different experience. It's not just about attending classes anymore, it's about the community. You study together, you have supper together, you play sports together, and then you have those like random late night conversation in someone's room. And I feel like those small moments are the ones that really stand out in your university journey. Hall teaches you about independence. Finally, right, you have your own space, you have your own room, and your parents are not here, you're just by yourself. But you also get to manage your own time. It teaches you about independence. You manage your own time, you balance your academics and your activities as well. But more importantly, it teaches you about community also. And the friendships that I built here is those are the kind that I know will last for a very long time. Yeah. So yeah, these are some of all the friends that I've made. And for those of you who are interested, in joining Raffles Hall, y'all can reach out to me. I can tell you more about, Raffles Hall life. And also an advice that I would give, if you all are interested in, staying in hall, like particularly in hall, I would strongly suggest that you go for engagement camps. So these are hall engagement camps that will only be posted on the hall's Instagram page. This will give a sense, about how you are as a person and gives you a better chance now, I think. Yeah. That's for my hall at least. And I also, for those of you who are, before starting university, I also highly suggest that you take part in rag and flag. And NUS Computing also has their own rag and flag, but Hall also has their own rag and flag as well. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's actually a charity drive. Yeah. So in Raffles Hall, I'm actually one of the heads for the welfare. So I help organize events and contribute. And you can see like some of the things. I'm in charge of the food department. So that's like the best department I think I can be in because every time you have an event, you just start eating. But yeah, you can see some of the foods that we make, the buffets, the prizes. And one of the days we actually had like Yochi as well to come down, a lot of pizza parties, sponsorships with many different companies. And this is one of the most like, I would say important role because welfare for all my students, or for all the students is, helps at least uplift the spirits of everyone. Yeah. So moving on to my SOC journey. So I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Um, the School of Computing is very intense. It's very competitive. It's Yeah, I would say there's a lot of competition. There are a lot of late night debuggings that you need to do, a lot of late night group project discussions, and even assignments that will make you question, your life choice, whether you made the correct decision or not. But sometimes you look around and you feel like everyone else understands things faster than you. But what I learned is that, most people are actually figuring it out as well at the same time as you. And over time, I learned how to study smarter, and not just harder. I learned to ask questions to my lecturers, to my friends, to my teaching assistants, to discuss my solutions with my friends, and to stop suffering in silence, lah. And then, yeah, you can see I also got involved in some of the faculty events like the SOC Connect session. I'm not sure if you were there. And then this helped me meet a lot more people who are like-minded in the computing community. And I mean, I also just went to SGI recently to do a little bit of outreach as well. And through these sessions, I realized that SOC isn't just about grades. It's about, your personal growth. When you enter year one, personally, I was very unsure and I was very overwhelmed as well. But when I was in my second year, I started to realize that I was a lot more independent. You're actually a lot more capable than what you thought you were, lah. Yeah. So with that, if you would like to connect with me, you can scan the QR code. This is my LinkedIn. But a little bit of advice that I would like to give is that, university is not meant to be a solo journey, even though it does feel like it. If you ever want to talk about, anything at all, you can reach out to me. Um, but I would say really try to enjoy your youth as much as you can. These 4 years is really like the last stretch before you step fully into the working world. And then after this, life becomes a lot more structured. You have a lot more deadlines. You have your bosses chasing you, more responsibilities, and you have like a more structured routine. But when you're in university, you still have the freedom to explore more about yourself. So I would say take this opportunity to, try new things, try a new sport, try a new CCA, join that camp, run for that leadership position, apply for that internship, talk to new people, push yourself, discover yourself, go to a level that you never imagined that you can reach. Because I think that growth doesn't only happen in the classroom, it happens in the experiences that you say yes to, lah. Yeah, so with that, thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Hazid, for your wonderful sharing. Yeah, I like the fact
No
that
problem.
SOC university life is not just about grades, but it's more on your personal growth. So it really depends on how you make the most out of it. And you only have one university life that you can get the experience, right? I mean, of course,
Yeah, yeah,
for
that's
further
true.
studies, yes, but undergraduate experience is definitely once in a lifetime experience. So yeah, you have here some of the sharings from our students. So let's move on to the next part. Come to the live Q&A segment. I think some of you have already posted some of the questions in the Q&A tab, and we have been answering all of them. So for those of you who have posted questions, you haven't got a chance, then you can just tap in to see what has been answered. So on the panel here, I mean, we also have a team of colleagues from admissions and a few students, as well as Prof. Suranga here, to help to share a little bit more about perhaps some of the commonly asked questions you might have. So probably I can leave the floor to the few of you to see which one would like to just share a bit about the programs here in SOC and some of the prospects. I think a few of you may be wondering about the career prospects for computing due to the emergence of AI, and some may be curious about, other than just a single program, we also do have double majors, minor to explore. I mean, one of the students here, Dylan, is also doing a double major, so he can also share a bit more on that. Yeah. So.
Hi everyone, I'm actually Diana from School of Computing, the admissions unit here. So when I was going through the Q&A, I see that a lot of students are asking about like second major, minors, and a combination that you can have. So probably I thought I want to step in to share a little bit more. In NUS, right, the one beautiful thing that we have over here is like you can actually in a way design what you want to study. Apart from your primary degree, it could be CS, AI, or business analytics, right? You do have the option to do second majors, minors, which sometimes we have students that demand to actually do political science, linguistic studies, and all this. These are something that you can actually also explore to add into your study plan in your 4 years over here. So at the application stage, you will see that you will be able to actually select what is your primary degree, that is the most important, and you should be focusing on right now for your application. Then there's actually options for you to actually select the various options that you have. Then you can it's a big long list that public health and everything that students can actually apply at the point of application, right? So, but some students may be worried. So, does that mean that if I don't get my second major or minor right now, it meant that I won't be able to do it later on. The answer is no, don't worry. Okay. Because apart from all this whole list of second major and minors that are available, I mean, at a point of application, after you matriculate, there is still options for there's still opportunity for you to actually declare your second major minors. It can be like in geography or even in business studies, which is actually management over here. So the university allows you to actually at every semester for you to actually declare your program plan. So of course, there's a limit to how often you can actually make the changes. Students can actually make the changes up to their second year. And then after that, you will just complete your program requirements that you have. This is actually something that which I always like to tell students that this is the beauty of what NUS has to offer, because you are able to actually to do some things that you are interested in, and that will actually you can actually see how you can actually delve further and you have passion to do it. It can be a second major or it can be a minor as well. That actually I have a question. Students is actually asking if I can actually do like say for example a AI degree and also do a business analytics second major and minor. Unfortunately, if you are looking at programs are offered within SOC itself. So let's say it's like because AI is offered by us, then business analytics is offered by us is not possible. But you can you have to the idea of the second major minor is for students to explore something beyond your primary major, multidisciplinary. So it's what we in our words now is called computing plus another flavor. So you have to look for things that is outside the scope of computing. So it can be geography, history, linguistic studies, or public health, so on and so forth. Yeah. So I hope this will be helpful. If you have any more questions, you can actually add on here. Also, there's a question: how many minors can a single major in SOC takes? To be honest, realistically, I do see students taking, up to 2 to 3 of it depends on second major and minor, because in your program requirements, right, we have a big basket which is about 40 units of unrestricted elective. And the idea of unrestricted elective, we are not restricting you. You can go and do any courses that you want to read. In your degree requirement, you require to pass at least 660 units, including your foundation and everything for graduation, right? For conferment of the degree. So normally I do see students reading up to 2 to 3 minors during their candidature. But of course, you really have to actually look at your study planning. There are other things that you have to consider. For example, timetabling. Can you actually handle it alongside with your courses and because as you advance into the year 3 and year 4, there are more things that you have to do as well. So for you to actually do especially a timetabling, so you have to deconflict all this in order to secure that. But generally, I do see students with at least 1 second major and 1 minor. All right. I hope I actually understand. I answer this.
On the topic of second major and
Mm.
I'm a CS and math second major, so I can share about how life would be like if you were a second major. I would say if you were to go into it, you should have clear interests in the two fields that you choose. Let's say decent, you should, and it's good to think about what direction you want to head with these two things. The point of the degree is to equip you with the tools you need such that you can make an impact to reality. So, uh, it's not just about the name of the major, what people might think, but it's more about what you can do with these two tools to help you make impact. That's what you should be thinking about, I think. As for like application to our degree or our major, I mean, to make the choice, um, think about what both offers like in some sense. So based on how much you can fit in your schedule.
Mm.
I can jump in. There's a question about, I mentioned that we are making students ready for AI-driven world, and somebody asked, can we provide a couple of concrete examples of how this will be done? Yeah, so to answer that, we do offer, lots of AI offerings besides the two specific programs, the BCompin AI and Business AI, we have several specialized AI courses now integrated into the curriculum, covering the AI foundations, machine learning systems, robotics governance, human AI interaction. For example, now there are courses on responsible AI, NLP, machine learning systems, uh, intelligent robots. So that's one of the things we have done. We are revamping the curriculum to make sure that these type of courses are introduced. A lot of project work, because even with the emergence of all these tools, I guess what they can take away is some very routine programming stuff. But the fact remains that we still need to have the systems level thinking, architecting complex systems, breaking them down into manageable bite-sized problems, evaluate overall software system, those sort of things needs a particular set of skills. So those are the ones that we have been integrated into the curriculum. So I also encourage you to visit the our education page that has listed down all these different courses that we have introduced.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. Suranga, for answering the question. Um, I think there's a question directed to me by this guy named Anonymous Attendee. So he says, what are some career prospects that BZA or my seniors are heading towards that is, aside from data related? So there's actually quite a lot of options, especially for BZA. But I want to share first with you that for BZA, there's three different specializations that you can actually choose in your third year. So let me just check. Yeah, okay. The specialization is the first one is the financial analytics specialization. The second one is the machine learning based analytics specialization. And the last one is marketing analytics specialization. So if, let's say, for example, you are very keen on a particular specialization that you want to go for, of course, you should definitely head in that direction, if you know that you want to, head there. But aside from data, there's a lot of things that you can do, like management, strategy and consulting, government policy. But when it comes to the specialization itself, let's say for the financial analytics specialization, there's a lot of people, a lot of my seniors that actually, at the end, after they graduate, they actually became like quant traders or they become investment bankers. And usually these people actually have a minor, okay, this is the trend that I'm seeing. Like genuinely, those people who have a financial analytics specialization doesn't have to be necessary, but they have a minor in quantitative finance as well. Yeah. When we're talking about marketing, a lot of people that I see that graduate from this specialization go on to like commercial roles like Shopee or like Lazada. Yeah. And then when it comes to the machine learning one, this one is really like there's every single industry that you can tap into. So for business analytics, there's really like a lot of different industries that you can tap into. And yeah, and I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Okay, let me take this question. This one question talks about whether AI is removing entry-level jobs. I think these kind of questions are everywhere now, about AI replacing everything. I mean, there's some truth to this, but I guess if you really look at the facts, yes, there's some slowdown in hiring. That's a broader economic conditions, not only the influence of AI. I don't think we have seen a large scale AI-driven job replacement yet. There's various articles on Financial Times support this. In fact, AI has also created new types of jobs. While big tech may be hiring less, new opportunities because now every organization is going to be AI ready, right? So there's a lot of new opportunities opening up in government sector, banking, consultations, all of that. So I don't think that's it's a more of a, I would say, bit of a perception fear. The degree of that is not there at the ground level as far as we know based on some of our engagement with the industry leaders who are part of our SOC industry advisory group. So we don't think that's definitely an influence. The type of skills is needed is different. That's why we train you to become system thinkers, the problem solvers rather than just coders. But I guess if you ask me, what should you do, instead of doing computer related things, I think computer related things will have a higher chance of finding a job and survival because every field is now needs people who knows computing. I mean, that's how I would see this thing.
Hey, thank you, Prof. Saranga. So I think looking at the time, perhaps we can help to answer one last questions. Then we will move on. Does anyone here wanted to address one last questions to the audience?
There was a question on picking your degree of choice.
Go ahead.
I would say, especially from a JC background, with very little idea of computing, I face a lot of difficulty in thinking of what to go into when I pick. And I love math, right? But now I'm in CS. What you can do, something useful would be finding something in like a particular problem or something that interests you very greatly, or finding something you really want to do. We know that every degree here will give you fundamental computing knowledge background so that you can do general code, right? But for specific cases, then you go in like, for example, like think about parallelism or you think about distributed systems. Computer science is really useful for that. You talk about security, InfoSec is very good. So what you need to do is think about what problem you want to solve in reality, right? And you think which course maps best to that. And this comes with a lot of research. ChatGPT helps quite somewhat, but you should always fact check by looking at the course itself. That's what I have to say with that.
Thank you all to the panelists who have answered some of the questions live. I think if we have actually answered most of the questions here posted, but I thought that I can share a bit briefly of course, other resources and what you can look forward to after this talk. Okay, so actually we do have a very comprehensive FAQ bank on our website. So you can actually feel free to, either now take a photo of this, scan the QR code to this page where you can actually find a lot more of the previous questions that was asked by the audience or students. Then we try to answer them. But of course, if you have specific admissions queries, you can also reach out to our admissions team. And this is some of their email that you can reach out to. But don't worry, all these helpful links will be given to you in our follow-up email after this session tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, so what do you think? What to do, right, after this session? Right, actually, we do have pre-recorded 2 new open house fireside chats. And these are we have a great panelist of faculty, of vice dean, head of department, and student leaders here to allow you to gain more understanding and deeper insights on these 2 particular topic, right? How do I thrive at NUS computing, and where can a computing degree take me to? So do go to YouTube, find and type in NUS computing to go to our channel, and then or scan the QR code here. Later on, you can actually take the time to watch this fireside chat. Thank you so much. I would like to give a big thank you to Prof. Saranga, to Diana, and some of our students here who took their time here to share their stories, to answer some of the questions. And I also like to thank all of you for spending your afternoon with us. So we hope to see you at NUS soon and enjoy the rest of your day ahead.